ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not.
Greetings, gentle viewers. Tonight we're going to watch something that we've all been waiting for. A James Bond-Superhero-parody crossover made for kids. Starring Frank Spencer. Actually, no one was waiting for it. But it happened anyway! It's from 1981 and it's called Condorman! You'll believe that a man can fly! And then tumble out of the air like an embarrassed stone. Music, swelling, must act like a brat. Radios! And want that song in my MP3 player. And a 5-minute break! Smoke if you got 'em. We're in Paris, and animated Condorman is flying around in exactly the same way that a real-life condor doesn't. He's then replaced with Michael Crawford! Since this is 1981, I can only assume that he's filmed this during a break between Phantom of the Opera and some others do have him. As you can see, he's breaking about 15 laws in the Eiffel Tower, and wait a sec! Yellow jumpsuits! It's the future! No, it's not. It's the present. Well, it's the past. You clever bastards! Michael Crawford plays Wood. Apart from being a commentary on his acting, it's both his first and last name. His friend Harry is a CIA agent, and like all good CIA agents, he takes photographs of his friend breaking the law by leaping off the Eiffel Tower and attempting to fly. You know, I shudder to think how much of a diplomatic incident this would cause in the real world. You know the French, they caused sanctions against anyone they thought didn't like Amelie if they could. Here we have a foreign intelligence agent taking photographs of what looks like a prototype flying suit on one of their national landmarks. Luckily, this happens.
Harry! Back way! Back!
And it can be claimed as the work of a lone nut job, which of course it is. How do I know this?
Back way! Back!
And he's landed in the River Seine, making him literally insane! Laugh, damn you! It's unlucky that the film starred Michael Crawford, because anyone but Frank Spencer would have been killed by that fall. You could have cast Steve Guttenberg in this role and the film would have been over by now. Thank you very much. Turns out that Wood is not just a random crazy with a yellow jumpsuit bird fetish death wish, but actually is a comic book writer who insists on making sure that everything that appears in his work can be done for real. Just imagine if Stan Lee did that.
Okay, so Condorman's first assignment is to help the French government. And you come here to Paris to stay with me to get the feel of things.
You invade your friend's life in Paris. You jeopardize his career by getting him involved in illegal activities. You worry him by almost killing yourself, and then you put your pictures all over his apartment. Wood, you, sir, are an asshole! And crazy. Harry is given the job of finding a civilian to take part in an exchange of intelligence in Istanbul.
Woody? Harry. Remember how I saved your life this morning? Well, I got a big favor to ask.
Yes, choose the insane, selfish asshole who likes to dress up as a bird. So Harry gives Wood the info and takes his hat and shades, carefully not taking the coat that makes him look like a flasher. So I'm wondering, why does the CIA branch in Paris have to handle meet-up in Turkey? And why is there a CIA branch in Paris? And do the French know? Because there's nothing interesting at all in Turkey except belly dancers, that's what we get to see to set the scene in Istanbul. The meet-up is in a bar. It's obviously a cod Turkish place designed for tourists with too much money and no real wish to see the actual turkey. Wood quickly attracts the ire of a local, but he quickly loses interest in assaulting him when he almost lands in the lap of a woman. Like music soothes the savage beast, does a beautiful woman soothe the savage Turk? Or is it just a case of really bad editing?
I believe we have something we can give each other.
This is Natalia, with Soviet contact and... wait a minute. My Hagan sense is tingling. I sense forced zaniness approaching like a giant, zany thing.
Your order, sir?
I'll have one of those.
One Istanbul Express.
Yes. A double.
A double? Nobody orders the double, sir.
Okay. Make it a triple.
The zaniness has passed. But it will be back. Oh yes, it will be back. It always comes back. Like all good psychos given the job of being a civilian and giving papers for the KGB to a Soviet civilian in Istanbul, Wood decides to lie and claim that he's a spy, possibly sending the entire plan into danger.
You're not a civilian?
In point of fact, no. I'm working as a top-level operative in international espionage, just passing through.
Wait! The zaniness, it's back! Stronger than ever!
One triple Istanbul Express.
The zaniness! It burns! And then he drank the drink, and then he spat fire!
He spat fire? And then she said that he drank the drink and breathed fire. He breathed fire. And then she said that he drank the drink and then he breathed fire.
He breathed fire? And then he said that she said that he drank the drink and he breathed fire.
He breathed fire? What does Hagan say about this now?
She said that you don't get the fuck off me! You'll hear candles in return and Christmas tree decorations! Possibly while they're attached to you!
You know, having looked at the world from underneath the giant, bloated, and now decaying corpse of a minion, I have to think, was that scene really so bad? Yeah. Continue the film.
You are in great danger.
Danger! I laugh at danger.
Step aside.
For some reason, a gang of Soviet agents attack Wood. Perhaps they have an evil asshole detector. Wow, he's a master of the ancient martial art of succeeding by utilizing his shitness.
Harness your stupidity, sir. Employ your witlessness. Use your empty-headed, simplistic moron mind and find a solution.
I'm sorry I had to get so violent. But it was the only language they understood.
So Natalia is now incredibly turned on. And they exchange papers even though Soviet agents just tried to kill him. I'm genuinely confused. Why did the Soviets try to kill him even though he was only there to meet up with a Soviet and exchange papers for the KGB? And why did he exchange the papers after the Soviets tried to kill him?
Cold War makes my brain hurt. Imelda, come here, cunnilingus time.
Natalia returns home and it's quite like that bit in True Lies where Jimmy Lee Curtis does the striptease, but without the striptease, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Jimmy Lee Curtis. In fact, it's a lot not like that bit in True Lies. Natalia reacts like most women who return home to find Oliver Reed with a whiskey sitting in her living room.
Hello, Natalia. Welcome home.
She sighs and prepares for the worst. It turns out that Natalia was a KGB agent and Oliver Reed is her boss. She tells him about the top CIA agent, Condorman. She can't tell the difference between Jason Bourne and Jerry Lewis. No wonder they lost the Cold War. Back in Paris, Wood spends his time being even more creepy than before by drawing massive pictures of Natalia and accidentally reveals a hell of a lot about his psychology by putting her in spandex and dubbing her Laser Lady.
Harry? My laser lady.
Wood, you invade your friend's life, you take over his apartment, you almost get him in trouble with the local law, you almost fuck up his career by telling the Soviets that you're a secret agent, you steal his bed, and now you're trying to wake him up so you can show him your hand-drawn porn! Fuck you, sir!
Who is Condorman?
Condorman?
Condorman.
Well, Condorman is what we call a comic hero in a comic book.
A comic book?
Yeah, you know, like Donald Duck, Popeye, Superman. Donald Duck, for example, he's not a real duck, just a drawing.
Harry thinks the CIA doesn't know that Donald Duck doesn't exist. Perhaps he doesn't need Wood to fuck up his career. The CIA have been contacted by a Russian agent called the Bear, who wants to defect. They insist on being met by the CIA agent, Condorman.
I could get killed.
It's not a dangerous operation, buddy. It's just a simple defection.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Revealing the Bear as Natalia in 3, 2, 1.
You've already met her in Istanbul. Natalia Rambova.
The CIA boss, Harry, and Wood look over some of Wood's comic books because Wood insists that if he's going to meet Natalia, then he simply has to have a load of toys dreamed up for his comic book in order to do it. You've got your country by the balls, Wood. Don't let them suck your cock and call it licorice while you're at it. I really don't get why the CIA don't just have Wood shipped back to the States and locked up in Guantanamo for fucking around with their international espionage. Sure, Camp X-Ray didn't actually exist then, but they could tie him to a tree in the jungle or something. I heard the music when you heard her name, Wood. You love her, and yet you're putting her welfare behind your need to try out your stupid shiny new toys.
You are such an asshole.
So now we have the... I was involved in Condorman! What? I was involved in Condorman. I was understudy to the assistant, backup, waiter. When Condorman was on stage in the Old Vic, I stole the costume. It was a bit too tight in the crotch. Alistair. Yes? What did I say earlier? You said I could watch if I shut up. And if I sat underneath the table. Are you shutting up? No. Are you underneath the table? No. Oh, you want me to shut up? Yes. Underneath the table. So this is where I still have the costume. Oh, Big Yo, you are a big minion, aren't you? Oh, I have been charged my guns since boarding school. No, don't do this. No. Oh, you've done this before. So we're now in the country formerly known as Yugoslavia. Wood is dressed up as an old man. This allows Michael Crawford to indulge in his silly old gypsy man shtick.
Natalia.
Condorman.
Who else? I knew you would come.
And amazingly, Natalia doesn't look embarrassed by this.
An escape as gypsies. How very romantic, comrade.
Boris, uncover your weapons.
I don't have one. Condorman does not carry a gun.
Condorman is a moron.
It is against my code.
You mean it's funner to destroy people's lives without firing at them?
All I carry is my trusty old cane.
So they escape in a gypsy caravan. It's so romantic. Hey Woody, you gonna tell her all about your refusal to help her unless you got your shiny new toys? You awful jackass.
Well, send out the Broknoviach.
Broknoviach? That sounds awesome.
And make sure that Morovich...
Led by Morovich? This sounds as cool as Scorpion fighting Wolverine. Or perhaps even cooler. The man sitting in a cat-like state of readiness is Morovich, the head of the Broknoviach. Holy shit, who the fuck are these people? Who is this guy? He has a cool name, a cool deformity, and leads a cool named group. This guy should be a Bond villain! We're suddenly in what I think is Port Marion, and... I'm even more convinced that we're in Port Marion.
Wait!
Oh, they run for it. Man, these Smirnovich guys must be hardcore! The KGB stunt driving team, the exact point where awesome meets shit.
The Prognoviach.
First possibility is they managed to put Prognoviach teams in every town, city, village and homestead in Eastern Europe. Second possibility is they managed to master cloning and they've now got Moroviches in every single one of those teams. I know those are kind of the same, but it all ties together. Third possibility is they've managed to master the Einstein-Rosen bridge, which allows them to teleport themselves to wherever a situation requires their attendance. And fourth possibility is they got fucking lucky. No, seriously guys, I'm not a scientist, believe it or not. I just went to a costume party as P.Z. Myers. Please, no, what the fuck? Ah!
Very good, minions, although next time try to kidnap an actual professor.
We cannot outrun them in this old truck.
Luckily, Wood's souped-up gypsy van has a secret. It's actually a souped-up mega car, a la Kit from Knight Rider. If Kit from Knight Rider was a drag queen. So they fire lasers at the Prognoviach, but someone designed this thing so you can't fire all the weapons at the same time.
I don't believe it!
So for a mild-mannered psycho comic book writer, Wood is extremely blasé about killing people. The evidence is really beginning to stack up, Wood. You probably wear baby sealskin on the weekend, don't you? Suddenly Morovich, the leader of the Prognoviach, is left, and even though he's right behind him and the street doesn't allow him any chance to miss, Wood refuses to use the lasers, flame bursts, or the other Russian killing devices. Morovich reports to Oliver Reed, who by the look of him has gone at least 2 hours without alcohol. Morovich begs for another chance to kill Wood, and through his Soviet psychic powers, he tells him where to go and find him in Italia. It's Italy! I'm gonna kill you, Italy, for a rat's night of terror. They immediately get arrested and locked up by an unthinking and unsympathetic police officer who looks a bit like Lance Henriksen. That's a bit of a xenophobic depiction of the Italians. I mean, I've been to Italy. They can't do anything immediately.
Wake up! Bring your thing!
Columbo arrives to take them back to wherever, but it's actually Harry, Wood's CIA member friend in Paris. Harry? And she reveals himself in front of the Italian prison guard. Oh, the guard doesn't care. Finally, a realistic xenophobic depiction of the Italians. Morovich spots them, and unfortunately this is apparently the only vehicle used for the heroes that doesn't have any additional gizmos. So like all clever people, they destroy a wedding and the reputation of the groom in order to escape.
This man is already married. And to whom's this man married? To me. Don't you lay a hand on me.
Who will stop me?
Uncle Luigi.
I will squeeze the true of this Uncle Luigi. Okay,
Our heroes! And why are the Italians speaking English at a wedding in Italy? Oliver Reed uses comic books written by Wood to work out where and how they will cross the Alps. course, there's no guarantee that he'll choose the right one. But given this is Condorman, we'll just ignore that. The CIA have left them with a delivery of jet thrusters that you can hook onto a cable car cable. Unfortunately, no one thought of leaving some men to help them fight off Mirovich and the rest of the Soviets.
Mirovich? You see them? Da.
Oh, come on, you're 5 feet away. That is unnecessary walkie-talkie footage. I've seen Oliver Reed. The man can yell. Subtle, aren't they? This is the sort of thing that causes international incidents.
I think they're gone. We can move now.
Reed is taking Natalia back to Russia, eventually, and he's going to cover up her defection and have Mirovich killed, so he doesn't need to have her killed. Isn't he sweet? Wood and Harry are ordered back to Paris. Wood decides to emotionally blackmail Harry into jeopardizing his career by telling the CIA that he never saw Wood, thereby buying Wood enough time to attempt to rescue Natalia. Or more importantly, use the rest of the CIA-funded goodies! Ah, Wood, you disgust me. Wood and Harry get dressed up as Arab stereotypes and try to rescue Natalia. Not quite blackface, more brownish face. Look at their outfits. It looks like they picked up the big book of 1980s stereotypes and picked the first racial group they found. Oh, please tell me there's going to be a bad accent.
A beautiful place, Monaco.
Ah, the dulcet tones of an Englishman doing a bad American accent, doing a bad Arab accent. Now, it's got very little to do with the actual story, but in his Arab disguise, Wood manages to win 5 million francs in a casino. How? Never explained. They then just set off to the Russian villa where Natalia is being kept. The term Russian villa should be an oxymoron.
3, 2, 1.
Wood rescues Natalia when Harry causes a distraction by setting off an explosion in the villa. Because if there's one thing that Arabs are never searched for, it's explosives! So Wood and Natalia run up to the rooftop where Wood reveals that underneath his robes he's wearing a souped-up version of his original Condorman outfit, and he plans to fly them both to safety. I think it worked out when no one ever found Osama bin Laden. Underneath those robes, bright yellow flying suit.
I want you.
You masochistic bitch. In yet another display of his assholiness, Wood has not ordered goggles for Natalia to wear while they fly through the air. Yeah, getting shit in your eyes, tragedy. Getting shit in her eyes, as long as she's still pretty. Oliver Reed arrives 10 hours without a drink, and he thinks he's having hallucinations when he sees Natalia on the roof with a Birdman. He'd shoot, but the last time he saw Birdman and shot at them, he had to pay to replace someone's car. And dog. And wife. Oh, he's decided he can't possibly have had the same hallucination twice. Condorman! You'll believe they spent £2.50 making it look like a man can fly. So they land, and like the rocket thingies in the car, they just leave the wings lying around for any secret government organization to find and replicate.
Yeah, but how do you feel about my being a foolish dreamer who draws comic books, huh?
You're giving your shit, even though the enemy are on your tail and about to catch up. Wood, your pain is not as important as everyone else not fucking dying. Minions! I demand to have 2 minions here right now. One called Neil. Are you called Neil?
No, mistress.
Are you called Neil?
Yes, mistress.
Sit down. Neil. Kneel before Hagan! I feel better now. So they make their escape in a condor boat. Who wants to tell them that condors aren't yellow? Okay, accept that one. Soon the chase is on and the KGB stunt sailing team arrive. Rockets fire, lasers blaze, and the final chase fight scene can best be described as the final showdown from Takeshi's castle. On water. Or Nightboat and his friends attempting some gay bashing. Mirovich and Oliver Reed bravely join the fight once the rest of Team Nightboat have been destroyed. But Morovich falls for the old raise the boat out of the water using a clearly visible and clearly destroyable helicopter right in front of a mountain trick. Oliver Reed looks pissed. That's to be expected, really. It is a non-alcoholic liquid. So, in keeping with the time-honored way to protect a new defector, Wood takes Natalia to Dodger Stadium to see a baseball game. Behind them are Harry and the only black people in the entire film. And if you look carefully, you can see something strange. Yes, they go to widescreen for the final shot.
Have you ever thought of having a three-way?
Well, that was Condorman, a film with no end credits. It's like that. It's dumb, but it's got feckless charm, even though it does feature one of the biggest dickheads in film history in Wood. So that's about it for Series 1. I hope you enjoy Series 2, where I hope to give you more obscurity, more explosions, and more lesbians. I'm Dean Hagan, and I have to live with it every day.
I do too!
Have you ever seen the inside of your scrotum, Alistair?
Oh, once actually,
Yes, mistress, we're here.
Good. Joey? Milo?
Yes, mistress.
We have reached the end of the series.
It was a good series, mistress.
Yes, of course, although shooting the lighting engineer might be in order. Now, do you remember what I promised you before the first review went out?
That you'd kill me before it ended?
It's now.
I didn't think it, mistress.
Well, I am the nice one. Now, Milo.
Are you gonna kill me too, mistress?
No.
Oh.
I am, however, going to have to turn you into a vibrator still in its original packaging.
How wonderful!
Oh, yeah. See you in a few months.
Hagan, I have loud and OTT impersonations of things, and I wear lots of makeup, and oh, I can do comedy without doing lots of jump cuts, and I have large lady breasts, and oh, she's a man in a dress. Why won't she date me?